If it will be okay if we shut our microphones just to.
Yeah.
Well, I will share the two documents that we are working on. The first, it's the minutes. There is all the reflections. Aurélie, tu peux entendre ton microphone?
Je suis...
Because we hear a lot of noise. Okay. First, it's minutes. And there is what we want to start discussing today. We thought the main thing was talk a little bit of the aim of a lab and what it should be the functioning of a lab. Later, try to determine the field of this mapping lab. That's why we start the exercise of answering these questions. I don't know if it did the result easy or not doing it, but it will be okay if we see the exchanges, and then starting to organize the next steps and the next steps of this lab. Well, if we go to the beginning, I don't know if I think we are all in the document. Maybe Dom, can you tell something about the aim of a lab?
Yes, okay. I think it could be useful. Just some ideas about what is a lab, the difference between other projects, other groups, and other projects we have in CivicWise. So the first thing is that a lab is a place where we are sharing knowledge and resources and thoughts, researches about a subject. So it's not itself a project. So this is very important because sometimes we have a misunderstanding between what is a lab and what is a project. A lab is where we are sharing similar projects, for instance. So in this case, about mapping, the purpose of this lab is not a specific tool or a specific project. It's where people interested in working on mapping could share their experience and they could help each other. And this is important because a lab necessarily is open. So the work group should be open. Of course, we can define the three circles we are using now to manage the governance of each activity we are doing. So we could have coordinators, and then we have the second circle, which is the work group. And then we could have the participants, which is the third groups. So the coordinators are responsible for the continuity and the life of the lab, and the work group is people working as well, quite engaged, but maybe they are not in everyday responsibility for the lab. And all of these roles could change at any time. So if there is people that want to be coordinators, nobody could say no. You do not could be coordinators. The same for work group and etc. The participants are people that are helping sometimes. So this is important because it's the difference, for instance, with the project. So naturally, what would be possible or would happen when we start a lab is that talking a lot, we start a new project. So when we start a new project or there is an existing project, this project has a different governance. So not all the people working on the lab should be or could be part of this project, and the people that started this project decided if they want this project to be an open groups or a closed group. So this is important because we decided in the last global camp that for each project we could have the choice. So if we start a project, the people starting the project choose if they want to choose directly the work group, or they leave freedom to everyone to join this group. So, and there is also this difference on the project, and I'm finishing the governance of the project. I mean, the project all the time is open. That doesn't mean that we should be transparent and we should share information, but the work group could be closed. So this is the difference. So if there is a project with some people working on it and they want to be them and they don't want to have more people join the project, they can do that, but they should share information. And the labs is a good place where we could share this information and where we can enjoy, all of us. There is here Francesco coming. So the lab is the place where we could share this information and take advantage of this information. And this is a place where a similar project in the similar field could help each other or could have influences each other. I don't know if this is clear.
Yes, it was for me. I would love to ask you something just to be perfect. In order to design civic course, we thought about the possibility of open the labs to the courses, but as I understand, the courses will be in 3 different languages. So, well, I don't know if you think something about it, or maybe, well, we can do maybe a hangout later about like a lab coordinators to think this problem.
No, I think we can talk about it because there is actually the mapping lab, which is burning now. It's one of the selected for the civic design course. So it's useful to understand how it works because the mapping lab is part of it. So the idea is that, okay, we have 3 different editions of the course in 3 different languages: Italian, French, and Spanish. And the design civic design course of a closed group project. So the project is open in itself, but the work group is closed. So the coordinators decided who is part of the work group. And now we are finishing this job to define which is part of the work group. And the key of the decision is actually the decision about what kind of labs would be part of the civic design course. So at the end, we had a meeting inside what we call the academy, which is the place where we are coordinating the online courses. And we decided that we are interested. This year we will promote, actually, because in joining the labs on the civic design is also promoting these labs. Would be 5. These labs would be mapping lab, neighborhood lab, civic tech, rural lab, and civic factory. So these 5 labs. So the idea is that in each languages there is one person that is doing the bridge between the lab and the civic design course. For instance, in the Spanish course, we are now defining that, and there is here, for instance, Mario. We already talked that maybe Mario is the responsible to make the connection between the Spanish course with the mapping lab. And for Civic Factory would be Jonathan. For the Rural Lab would be Francesco. For the Civic Tech would be Alfonso. And there is someone I don't remember. But and in other language would be different. For instance, for French, we were talking with Nicolas, and Nicolas said that we'll be talking with Analia or Eli for the mapping lab, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
For the Civic Tech is Alfonso because he speaks as well French. For the Rural Lab is you in French as well. Okay, so there is this idea that we have different people, and we have as well people taking care of but it's not the subject, taking care about the publication and the welcoming, but this is different. What is important here is the people that create this bridge between the labs and the civic design course. And what is important is that those people will be part of the work group. So the work group is in a way paid. So there is the 30% of the money we earn for in each course that will be distributed between the work group, and the other 40% is divided by the coordinators. So the idea is this way we could help people to work on the labs with this. It's not a lot, but some money that is coming from the civic design course. And just finishing the commitment for this person is to be part of the lab, and so be really active on the everyday life of the lab, and at the same time following the participants of the course and talking with them, following them as a tutor when they are working on a project that is connected with the main object of the lab.
Can I say something? The fact is about, for example, mapping lab, the person who takes mapping lab in one of the courses just to be a bridge between the projects and all the other projects in the lab. And that's maybe what you were asking about the language. I wouldn't be so worried about it because, I mean, the lab is not, it's a big bank of projects, no? It's a big, so the fact is we need someone to introduce the participants of the courses to this bank and help them to connect with other projects. But then the connection is up to them. The connection with the projects, it's up to the projects. I mean, you just facilitate the dialogue between projects, but you don't have to know all the projects. In a way, somehow you are involved in the lab, so you should at least be aware of the projects.
I have a question. If I well understood, will be a coordinator of a lab in each civic design course. For example, someone will be in contact with the course of civic design in French, someone in Italian, and someone in Spanish. It's like that?
Yeah, can be, or can be more people. For example, for Rural Lab, we didn't find out many people available to do it, so I'm doing it the French and for the Spanish.
Okay, and for Mapping Lab, well, in French we talk, and for Spanish and Italian, do you think?
Italian, okay. For Spanish, there is Mario here. For Italian, there could be Anasia because she speaks Italian, but she was thinking about it. So
okay,
she declined. We will ask to you guys who wants to do it, and also if it's in English, it's not a problem. I mean, for example, Neighborhood Lab is something, but building up now, and there is not many people involved in it. So we were asking to Maria to do it to the French and Spanish too. Now Teresa, for example, is interested in my neighborhood lab, so she will get involved in the lab and she will do it. But you know, it's up to, actually now we decided from academy who could be the bridge. But because it's building up everything, so maybe next time we will find a way that maybe from the labs come out a name to be coordinator and stuff. Now this time came out like this.
Just to say something, I think the labs could be a really interesting tool to connect the different design civic course, because talking between coordinators of lab, we could put in contact a project of, I don't know, of course of design civic in Spanish or in Italian, because they are connected to mapping. So that would be really, really cool.
This is the idea, actually.
Yeah, that's just one thing one would think we thought in academy is to have marathons. So, I mean, one day where there will be a big streaming with all the projects of the courses will be presented in every language, so people from France can know what's coming up in Spain and Italy, and we can connect better the projects, and in that way would be nice if the labs are involved, because there will be many projects to show, and we can also push the labs, the power of the labs connecting projects. That's very interesting.
Perfect. Well, just to get to the subject of this lab, it will be okay if we do, I don't know, just 3-5 minutes presentation of each one, and or interesting about our project, just everybody to know a bit each other. We also fill the information in this document that you can check out, that is the exchanges document. But it will be really nice, Nico, you want to start introducing yourself, that you're like the new one in the Hangouts meeting?
Unmute myself. Okay, yes, hello to everybody. So I'm Nicolas, and I'm from France, but I lived also in Barcelona 10 years, and now I live in London. And so I do urban design, and I'm doing mapping for now 4 years, mapping workshops during neighborhood festivals. Mostly it was in the suburbs of North Paris, La Courneuve, Saint-Denis, tout ça. And now I'm doing the same thing in London. Well, that's a kind of summary.
There is something in particular that you want to find in this lab that you're especially interested on, or just sharing or learning, or I don't know, like in which moment of your project are you right now?
Well, yeah, it's about sharing knowledge and sharing techniques, and because it's quite emergent, no? I mean, well, collaborative mapping is not. I mean, I think it's used by urban designers and planners for many years, but now we have online platforms. So it's about, for me, it's about how to link the physical workshop with the platform. And so, yeah, it's about looking for developers or for people who have ideas to how to build these platforms.
Okay.
That's my main question. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Alfonso, it's a kind of good developer. I will love that he can join later. We are gonna insist. I know that he's like in a baby situation right now, but it will be really good that we can count with him, because we all want a developer. Okay, thank you very much. Do you want to follow Maria? Each one can do a presentation.
My name is. Wait, 1 second. Justamente se me perdón. But my name is Maria. I'm a part of the group of Canary Islands, and right now I'm involved in some small projects of mapping. And I'm focusing in not to mapping places to make a diagnosis in a big diagnosis, and then how to develop a map with this idea. So we made in Figfactory one prototype, and I share with Laura and the team of Valencia my small knowledge about this theme, and we create a small map to test if this way to work is working or not, so we can share knowledge later about it. Next. Nobody next. So Mario, maybe you can continue.
I'm sorry. Yo hago mi presentación en español, lo siento, estaba bloqueado el micro. A ver, yo soy Mario, soy ecuatoriano español y vivo en España hace 10 años. A ver, yo he tenido muchos acercamientos al tema del mapeo. Creo que el que lo tengo más fresco y más reciente es el prototipado de un taller que he hecho ahora en el Civic Factory Fest, que se ha llamado Urbanismos Invisibles, en el que lo hemos trabajado con Nasia Panayotidi, también Weiser de Grecia. Y el propósito de del prototipado de este taller es acercarnos no específicamente al tema del mapeo, sino abordar las raíces del nomadismo, acercándonos hacia la psicogeografía y rematando en el mapeo como una forma de revelación de todos esos haberes, esas prácticas en la época contemporánea. Nos ha faltado uno que creo que también está muy ligado a esto, que creo que son todas las prácticas de la gestión de datos, que muchas veces en las prácticas de mapeo se olvidan y que suelen corresponderse a partes muy poco semánticas, muy utilitarias del manejo de softwares específicos para gestión de Big Data, y que creo que es una parte muy importante de lo que en todo el concepto de mapeo se está olvidando. Con eso, sobre todo he querido acercarme con lo que son mis inquietudes a este lab, porque yo considero que además de acercarnos desde el mapping como instrumentalización, creo que es necesario abordar o por lo menos acercarnos a estos otros ámbitos que yo en las prácticas que he tenido, en la experiencia de haber usado mapeo como instrumento de temas urbanísticos, creo que dan mucho sostén, dan muchos saberes, dan mucho fondo al instrumento dentro del urbanismo. Eso es.
Perfect. Who want to follow? Fran or Aurélie?
Hello? Hello? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So I'd like to talk you about our project. So we had a first experience with Nadia at the beginning of the year. at Place des Fêtes at Paris. And the idea of this project, entitled Civic Map, is to reveal the potential of the area and try to stimulate solidarity between inhabitants. So it was for us a good opportunity to test different little methodologies. But today we feel the limits about it because we don't have a real possibility of application with budget, so that limits the process, and we feel that we have not so much skills in the digital approach, and it's another limit. So for us today, it's really interesting to continue it, but more on the to continue to learn about different methodology and share with other people about it. And during this project Civic Map, we took the time to develop in parallel kind of not really platform, but we wanted to federate different local mappers, and through this action, we felt it was really important for the people who work on this way to be connected together and really to learn at the different steps of their project. And so that's why today we want really to be implicated on this mapping lab, and that's why we want to do it also on a different context. We had an opportunity in Paris with Yannick Duté, who organized a meetup about mapping. And so we will support him on this meeting, on this monthly meeting from January. And we also start meeting about mapping at Tours with Copaxis. Copaxis, it's a platform of which work on the question of territory and digital. And so for us, it's the same idea in Paris, in Tours, through the mapping lab. It's really learn as we can learn more and more of each other.
Cool. Thank you. I could follow the early comments. Well, as she told us, I've been participating in the Civic Map. That was because I'm a bit obsessed about mapping. It's been a lot that I work in different contexts. I work in university as a teacher of a workshop in which we were working about mapping controversies and the relationship between materials of use. But this work was look through architectural representation that was like a fixed object. And then I worked in an observatory of the metropolitan region of Buenos Aires. And in that case, we work with maps through the problem of learning and knowing all the history of urban planning, to doing a comparison between actual territory and the history of the planning, just to have the tools to think about how the territory it's built their form. Then when I arrived to Paris, I started with the civic map as a test in the territory. And I also start to look at all this big data, incredible, a lot of initiative of mapping. And because of that, now that I'm in a professional master at the Urbanisme School of Paris, I'm developing a research as a memory research that will be like 4 or 5 months dedicated just to this project. I have to look for a director, but I'm just defining that these days and the protocol. But to be concrete, I'm really, really interested in the way as mapping can be a tool for urban planning, just to let the experts, that will be the urbanists, let's be able people to express themselves, like empower citizens through this tool that is mapping, just to think how the ways of the consultation and asking opinions and atelier workshop of demanding advice and co-conception and co-construction will be optimized by this tool. I'm just a looking project that I would love to study, but I think that will be the field of my study. I don't know if it was clear, but that's it. Fran, do you want to say something?
Yes, I'm Francesco. Hello, everybody. I've done some work about mapping abandoned places and strategies to reactivate it through mapping. So my interest is about mapping people, but also mapping the old school mapping of abandoned, or anyway part of the city, and in this case abandoned place. And I really think that this lab has a big potential in CivicWise, because we've been working a lot about things like mapping ourselves or mapping skills and capacities of the city. And I think that if we reach somehow with more a mapping of more a kind of more like actually the abandoned sites of the city would be very powerful, because we can build really tools for regeneration of the city, and that is my main interest in the lab. Devi presentare? Sì. Okay, it's up to Domenico now.
Okay.
Because I have a proposal.
I don't know, you can hear me. I think I'm using the Francesco microphone. Okay, I'm Domenico, and the interest of mapping for me is something that starting already 10 years ago, when with some friends like Afonso, we developed the GeoBlog collaborative platform called Mapy, which is a collaborative tool to create new maps using Google Maps, and now using, which is I think more ethically interesting, OpenStreetMap. You can create collaborative maps. Something we started in 2007, and in general, I think mapping is a lot of time the starting point to create a better connection with the territory, which is one of the main points of CivicWise. So this is why I'm interested. I take advantage of the moment to say that maybe in the 10 minutes I have to go, because I have some things to do. I will be hearing here if you saying, Francesco, just what you are saying. And I think also an interesting proposal. I think with this meeting it's important to create the work group. So the coordinators and the work group. And for myself, I'm more interested in be a participant because I am already involved in a lot of things. So I say, so I will be informed and maybe sometime appearing, but for now I'm not really, I don't have time to be in the work group for coordination. What about the map created with the Nicola? Yeah, another project that I worked on with is Localin, now it's called. It's a tool created when I was one of the partners of Ecosystem Urbano, which is an interesting tool as well. And I think it's powerful, but there is some limitation on this tool. It's interesting because it's also open source and you can give it, you can get it and start a new website. The problem with this tool is that has a really strict structure with 2 main categories, and these 2 main categories in 4 categories, which is really useful when you are, for instance, looking for bad and good things or problems and proposals. So
Domenico, could you show us sometimes how to use the this platform Localin, and do you think if developers would work on it, it would be possible to upgrade it, so to have I mean, can we use it as a base and upgrade it to our different means? What do you think about this?
Sorry, Nico, can you repeat the question?
Am I muted now? Can you hear me?
Yes, but Dome is freezed. Dome, are you?
I think it was me that I've tried to mute Laura's microphone because it was doing noise, and now it's okay.
Okay. No, I had a question for you, Domenico. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No, do you think that this platform, Localin, would it be possible to? I mean, would it be possible that sometimes you show us a bit like how it works?
Yes.
And second question, do you think it would be possible to upgrade this platform so we could work from this platform as a base and try to upgrade it to different possibilities?
Yes, of course I can show you, but better than that, I think we can connect with Jorge. Jorge Toledo is the guy now in Ecosystem Urbano involved in the development of this tool. So I think we can even plan a session with him because he's a really approachable guy, really he's a friend actually. So we can talk directly with him and search for some kind of to upgrade the project. I think he would be really happy to do that. So I'm finished.
Just to follow the Hangout, I think it will be really just putting in the meeting sessions. I try to resume the activity of each one. As Dom say, it will be really cool if we express our time and interesting for this lab, just to be a coordinator, part of the work group, or just a participant. I've started also a list of references of projects that we want to start sharing between us. And I think will be really interesting also to start a list of by bibliography about mapping in order to start developing a bit of concepts if you know really interesting things that you will have to share. And then to continue with what Aurélie says, I think Yannick Dut, that he's been the coordinator of Meetup Cartography in Paris, that now he's interested in continue this activity in volume, could be really a nice link just to start sharing our projects and I don't know, collaborating with him or him collaborating with us.
I have a proposal. First of all, I am interested in the lab, but I can't be. I'm interested in being participant, not really in the coordination or in the work group, because I can't sure as much time as I want. But it's anything the course in Italian, and there are many projects about mapping. Anyway, I want to participate in the works and as I can, and somehow I want to propose you guys something about building the work group and building the lab, because this is very experimental and we have the chance to experiment a little also some kind of way to develop a lab and to run it. And we were talking about it with Aurélie and Analia in Valencia, and also with Maria. One nice thing to do could be to shoot ourselves a video of maximum 3 minutes in which we explain the project or the projects, or we can do 2 videos, that we want to put in the lab. I mean, the lab is a big container of many projects in which we connect and we try to find common solutions, and we share research, investigation, and many things. So if we start having a little video and some data, like 1,000 words for a description for each project we want to bring in, we also have in a way to document the projects that are in the lab very easily, very fast, and also to have materials to show somehow when we want to show how the lab is working, because instead of bringing many documents for a project that maybe not developed in CivicWise, but it's our project, we want to share it with the community. The fastest thing is, I think, it's a video where we can show ourselves, or we can show to images, so we can show whatever we want, but very short, maximum 3 minutes. So we start building a bibliothèque, our own bibliography of the projects in the labs. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's really a good idea. We talk about it together. That can be a good start to have a global vision of what we have produced. And just I want to precise another thing with Analia. We developed two supports to propose accessible information about mapping. We had to complete really these tools, but there is a glossary with mapping terminology, and there is also an atlas, digital atlas and digital glossary, an atlas about collaborative mapping. And that can be really interesting if we propose all these materials to the mapping lab, and if everybody can complete it and can not complete it, but can add information, the important information for him.
I have one question. Do you listen to me? Are you listening to me? Okay. My question is if the video of 3 minutes is necessary, because I think it's a tool that is not useful for each one. Why? Because it's very difficult to look a video of each one, I think, and maybe it's more useful if we create maybe 3 categories, for example, like is a mapping about people or is a mapping about places or whatever. So we define some small categories and we develop like a tweet, like we always use this measure, and it's a way to have a map about the ideas of our maps very fast to understand that, okay, in Italy, the people is developing mapping about people, for example. Why I suggest this? Because I think we don't have enough time already to see a video. Or, for example, for me, I prefer to have a main idea about each map instead of a Word doc or something as big as this. So maybe the first step is to develop a small Excel folder with all this small information, but in a short way. Like, for example, in Valencia, we have a map about the interest of the people, and it's a mapping about the relationship between each other, and that's it. We don't analyze empty places, for example, as Francesco made in Italy. So it's a proposal. Maybe it's more useful for the beginning to understand in which type of mapping are we working at the same time. Because I think that one Google Doc is not working for me.
Maybe 2 complementary supports with a little tweet on the Google Doc, a kind of general map of different projects, and a short video, maybe 1 minute and not 3. Or what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree with Maria, but the idea behind the video was also to try to experiment how to launch a project in CivicWise. I mean, one thing came out for Local Camp was that we don't know, when I have a project and I want to share it with the community, how to launch it, how to announce it, and how to explain it. So that there came out this idea to promote somehow informal things like a short video. Yeah, maybe 3 minutes, it's too much, 1 minute. But I think also it's good to have a schedule so we can mix the 2 things. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Of course, just the video. I don't want to go watch all the videos. If I have a scheme where I see this video is about mapping mapping people in Catalonia, and this one is about mapping capacities of young people in this place. So I go and watch the video. But in this way, we start having materials to show when we want to talk about a lab. You know, we start to have also a smarter way to present our projects, and we have because this kind of video, maybe one day we put it in a channel. I don't know. It's an idea to experiment. It's a good chance because we are starting this lab. So the fastest thing is to put some data and shot you a video, and then we go on. We can say 1 minute. I think it's better than 3 minutes. 1 minute video to explain your project, and then this Excel, it's fundamental. Of course, I was thinking also to a little doc with more info than there. Like I said, 1,000 word, where it is, how many people involved, there is a project developed and not developed and stuff, but also can be, all this data can be in an Excel, so it's easier to read. And I think it's basic because if you want the labs to be a really library of projects, and they have to be accessible, easy to understand, and easy to connect with the people who develops the project. So I'm thinking to people who is in the civil design course that are making the bridges. They can't know all the projects, of course, but with these tools, like the main data recopilation and the videos, they are very updated, and also people who want to connect in 1 minute, 2 minutes, just understands what's the project about, what's this project of mapping about.
In order to follow the conversation, I shut off my video because my thing was not working. I think because we already talk a lot, and I get someone they have a bit to leave, or it will be okay just to have a conclusion of this first minutes. I think will be really nice, as Francesco said, if we try to record like a 3-minute video just telling about our project, just to present ourselves and to present us to the community. And as already said, and in order also to my interests, as Francesco already said too, I think will be really, really cool if we can start with a glossary of terms to define them. I already started this work in the Science Civic course, and I couldn't develop it really well. And I think Nicolas also has a really, really long research about this, and also a library of mapping projects, just to understand, try to work with the existing project to get in the field and to be able to understand better objectives of projects, tools, ways that they're being done, like a casuistic. I don't know. I think that could be like one of the first objectives of this lab, in order to all of us to be more comfortable with the subject. But it's a proposition. I don't know. What do you think?
I think yes. Let's give us a schedule in 2 weeks to prepare the video and to prepare this Excel file where we put our data about the project.
I think the same. If we divide the two main like explain in which maps are we working, and also propose some tools that we know, is something very useful for the future, for this point.
So we said that in these 2 weeks we are going to try to start this bibliography Excel, having the time to see each one, the project of the other one. In the mapping lab folder, it's upload the Nicolas project and also the Civic map. It will be okay that if you have something, you can put it inside, and the rest we can look as a consulting material. I'm really interested about which platform are we going to use to do the atlas of cartography. Nicolas, it was using one that I really loved, and me for the Design Civic course I used Temple. I think it will be nice one of and federate the research and working with the glossary in order to be able to classify and organize better the organization, the information. like in a really small future. Nico, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So what did you mean, Stample? This is I was using Perl trees. This is what you mean, like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Stample is a platform that it's also like open code developed with people that Dom maybe knows better. Like there has working in Volume also, and we test this. It's like an open library platform, but it was tested in the course. I don't know if they're using in the rest of the Design Civic course. Are you going to use?
Analia, actually, Stample now they reduced a lot the way you can use free, I mean without pay. So I don't know if it is still a good option. And for the rest of the course, we are not using it now because of that.
So I think we should move. Perfect. Well, I have a Word which I took all the information, and I don't know, just I'm thinking about the formats of this glossary. Could be an Excel or a Word. I don't know if we have the ideas or just someone starting and sharing.
Before going on, we should define the work group. Who wants to be in the work group to coordinate, and then we split task.
Perfect. For this, I wrote something in the internal chat that I don't want to propose myself to nothing with a lot of responsibility because I have responsibilities in other labs. So I just want to participate, and also I know that then people will pay for this responsibility. So just to say.
Okay. Are you interested in being a participant or work group?
Participant.
Okay, I'm just feeling because of which one said in this document. Maria. Coordinators, I will put Mario. Mario, are you there? Your microphone is not.
I'm like the lot, but I'm so busy. So if you want, Analia, I can be behind you. I don't know.
Of the Design Civic in Spanish. I will think about it. Could be.
Nicolas, what do you think about it?
Well, it's my first time working with you.
Yeah.
I'm okay to be an active participant if it's possible, and maybe join the working group in the second time.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if, I mean, someone who is in the code.
I'm very interested in the topic, so I'm happy to be very active.
Yeah, actually, as a lab is not a project. I mean, the coordination group, the work group is always open. So it's not more. It's about the important role is coordination, and then collaborators, work group, and participants are. I mean, it's not a project that we have to where we have to maintain schedules and stuff. It's about internal coordination, so it's more about how much do we involve ourselves and we follow the work. So I wouldn't be worried about if we are not everybody coordinating. If you and already are coordinating, I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a problem of being in coordination. I will be more than happy.
we can work together. Analia for the coordination, to be more at ease. I don't know, is it okay if there is not really work group and just coordinator and participant? Do you think it's okay?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
for everybody that is bound.
No. I want to be in the group. I mean, in the lab. I can't. I don't want to be coordinator actually, because I'm coordinating other stuff and I wouldn't have time. But I want to actually. I want to follow very much this lab because of, and so I think from there will come up many good ideas, and
So,
also I have projects to share. So
what I wanted to know is it's actually there is 4 participants. Dom, you, Maria, and Nicolas, and there is nobody on the work group, and there is just so there is just coordinator and participant. There is nobody on the work group, so that's why I ask. It's not a problem if there is nobody in the work group.
now, well, the work group is people who does work. In this case,
Yeah.
it's all of us. I mean, it's not. As it is not a project, we are very free about how to organize it. I mean,
Okay.
just take a little bit the appointments, follow follow to build up the hangouts, follow to build up the connections between everybody, and I mean, active participants are the work group, as Nicola said. I mean,
Yeah.
when there will be a project in the lab and we set up a project, then we build a work group to follow the project. If there will come one.
Yes, I know that there's more people interested that they can join us today as Pablo, Pascual, Artemis. So it's just like the beginning. Mario, it was not clear for me where do you want to put, so you can put it in the minutes, whatever you feel like. And just to do the task part, what do you think, Fran, how we can organize our next session?
Analia, una cosa. A ver, yo soy parte del grupo de trabajo y siéntete libre de contar conmigo para lo que necesites. Lo que yo no quiero es entrar en compromiso de asumir una responsabilidad por temor a no cumplirla por tiempos, ¿vale? Pero estando tú de la coordinación, cuenta conmigo para todo, como ha sido hoy el arranque del Hangout y tal, ¿vale?
Gracias. Bien, entonces, para mí sería interesante pensar eso, cómo nos dividimos las tareas en función... sorry, I'm just speaking in Spanish. Shit. It will be interesting to think how we divide the task in order to start a reference bibliography and a glossary. I think this 1 month get in touch between us, between mapping subject, will be really helpful to define the aim of this lab. I don't know if you have anything in mind. I could start sharing my research and the words that I try to define. I think that maybe for the atlas we can use Pertless, that was the platform, or Nicolas. I didn't try it. Nicolas, do you think it's really working well like a platform? You recommend us? Okay, we can test. and we will see if it's not enough. But I think for starting will be okay. I could.
Very easy to make collections of websites and to organize them with topics. It's really simple.
Perfect. I didn't was really comfortable with samples, so I think we'll be okay. Also changing, and I don't know. Will be okay just to create a new folder, a new collection. I have my informations sample in a Word, so I could start passing this information and maybe creating a list of terms and a list of like a reference, like bibliography. People who's talking about mapping, who's writing about mapping that we think like collaborative mapping, of course, that they have an approach that would be interesting to work about. I don't know, I'm thinking in theory because I'm really theory person, but maybe you're not really interesting about that. I don't know, I have really difficult to classify the examples in order to get in which way there were collaboratory projects, in which way they work with scale, which were the protocols they were using to get the information. But I think this will be for our next session, not for right now. So this is the minute document. I try to write what everybody says. It will be okay if you look at it and you put the things you want to speak next session. We can set next session in 2 weeks, not this Friday, the following Friday. Are we agree with that? Okay.
Which number?
And we will.
Which day?
It's
22.
22.
22. Second.
It's not 20.
Thursday, 27.
22.
No, it's 23.
Oh, 23, sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
Friday, 23.
it's 23.
23 with the gifts.
We were all dressed up with like Papa Noel. Maybe.
Yes.
Like red t-shirt.
Red and white.
So for me, the idea is we start working in this reference, bibliography, glossary for the other side, doing the 3 minutes video to know better our projects, to allow also each other to build a new relationship between us, to start having contact between us. I don't know if you are okay with that.
Yes. Where do we put the video in the folder? Do we create a folder?
Yes, we could create a folder.
Okay.
Maybe we can record directly on the YouTube channel. Would be more easier doing that.
I don't know, if we charge it to Drive, then we can upload it to YouTube.
Okay.
I make a folder called library. Or we can change the name.
Perfect. Maybe if we can share the progress next Friday in a really small hangout. the one who are working on that. But the general hangout, we can say that will be Friday 23.
Okay, so for Friday 23, we upload the video and we fill the Excel with the data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The hour is okay for you? At 5:30, it's okay for you if we keep this time?
5:30, yes.
Cool. Anyone want to have something to like to say, or we think will be okay for today?
Maybe one thing, maybe also we could, each of us could propose some topics of interest, like kind of working avenue that we would like to work on. So we can a bit like focus some topics, to have some specific working avenues, if you see what I mean.
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Minutes document. You can like in the next reflection will be nice for example for the next session that we could talk more specifically about each one interest. So well, I will follow the protocol, but I will put that just like an agenda for the next hangout. Perfect. So are we okay for today? I will stop the record.
No.
Yes, stop it.